Okay, so we're on the AI stage. So let's talk a little bit about AI. Now, I tend to break AI down to a couple of different buckets. We think about it in terms of technology vendors. How do we build AI into our products? And then how do we leverage AI internally in terms of our internal operations and how we execute? So I'd like you to talk about both of those. Maybe start with the product. What has your product strategy been around AI?
Yeah, so I mean, you're absolutely right. We are thinking of it exactly. What can we do in the product and what can we do internally? So let's talk about the product. The product, we think of it as in kind of two ways. One is our product today it's not easy, right? If you think of an average customer, they're using the Rubrik platform to protect their data that could be sitting in the data center, could be a VM, could be an Oracle database. They're using it for cloud, again, cloud VMs, cloud databases, object storage, and then they're using SaaS as well. And then we have built a whole suite of security products, which very often the IT persona may not even have the skills. If there is an attack, they don't even know what to do next. So the first step is to really, can we actually provide an assistant or co-pilot, if you will, for the Rubrik product to really make it easy? And that's what we call Ruby, is kind of this AI companion for our SaaS platform. And what it does is it really says, so for example, if you say, oh, we found a piece of malware, they're like, okay, what's an IOC? And we say, okay, this is what it means. And then it's okay, what should I do next? Here's what we'd recommend. And what this does is it uses our knowledge base, documentation, support articles, wikis, and it also is able to query the product itself through APIs, put it all together and answer the question. So that's kind of what we're built. So that's I would say, making our product more usable. We want to do, as we scale, we want more and more self-service. If there's a problem, don't come to support. Just handle it to us. So that's what customers want. Yep. And that's what will help us scale. The second piece is really about how can we, as our customers are on this AI journey, how can we enable them to build the AI applications they need? And again, there are tons of there's lots of stuff on the foundation models, and obviously that's the core of everything. But most of the time is not spent in foundation models. Nobody's training models. Yep. The work is in, okay, how do I get access to the data that I need to solve this particular use case? How do I make sure that, first of all, am I adhering to the security permissions that are there? And then more importantly, even if you have access to some data, what if somebody had put something sensitive in there? Say financial documents exposed to all of engineering, right? And then every engineer can ask a question and will get an answer from that. So this is where a lot of the time is spent. Almost like we've heard like 80% of AI POCs don't make it to production. Yep. And very often InfoSec saying no. And we even talked to CISOs who said, we don't want to say no, we want to say yes. But we don't even get half good answers for the questions we're asking. And then our realization was, over the 11 years, we've been building exactly all of this. We take all the enterprise data, put it in a single platform, so it's easy to access it. It's automatically getting refreshed every day, every few hours. We understand permissions, so we can actually make sure that you only see the data that you're permitted to see. And then we can automatically suppress any sensitive information, mask it, so that it doesn't go into the model. Once it goes into the model, you don't know how it's going to manifest itself on the other side.
100%.
So we were like, wait, everything we're building is really well suited for the problems that the enterprise is facing. And that's why we announced a product called Annapurna, which is really around, and it's very early stage. I would say we're still exploring the right use cases. And customers are also in a very early stage of innovation, but that's where we see a lot of potential there, and very excited about kind of where we can take that.
That's cool. So what I heard is that there's actually two sort of aspects of this. There's one of how are you enhancing your product with generative AI to help the customer and automate a whole bunch of stuff, make them better at what they do. But then that second bucket seemed to be you're actually helping the customer do AI themselves. Like they have AI projects.
Can we solve the data problem from it? Yes. Focus on your business use case, focus on your workflow, focus on building the right kind of agents, but don't worry about the data.
Yeah, which is definitely what I've heard as well, that there's a massive level of scrutiny and concern about what sort of data. Do you have data leakage? Where is that going? How can you manage that?
100%.
Okay, got it. Okay, let's change tactics and let's talk about using AI internally within Rubrik. How are you as a company adopting AI?
Yeah, so for the very same reasons, we actually at very early stage, we set up an AI governance committee. The goal there is to really have InfoSec, legal, everybody coming together with the goal of enabling AI adoption across the company, but doing it in a safe manner. And that has been very effective. But then there was a lot of like grassroots stuff. Somebody saying, hey, I want to try this. They would go through the committee, they'd evaluate it and say, hey, is this secure or not? And then if it's secure, they say, okay, go ahead and do it. So we started seeing a lot of projects pop up. Then we said, okay, let's bring it all together. There are lots of tools being used.